Hi guys, how merry meets everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene, and yes, today is Monday. I slept in a little longer than I normally do, but I wanted to get some times to get some yay.
Hi guys, how merry
So
meets
when
everybody. It's
things working,
MicheleMarieDalene, and yes, today
it is working.
Monday. I
Okay.
slept in a little longer.
So let me turn the sound off on this so we don't get all confused here, and I'll open the live chat window just in case questions come up. Today we're going to talk about brains, or intelligence versus wisdom. And because Dory said something yesterday, I really feel it deserves a statement. She said to me, "I wish I was as smart as you." And I said, "Well, intelligence and smarts come with a price." And I never explained what that meant, so let me tell you what it means. The shortest, sweetest answer is when people admonish you and say, you should know better, you can't really come back and say, well, I didn't. Because most people with Asperger's autism study the topic until to death, to the point where we know ahead of time what we're getting into. So I have to be honest and say, yeah, I do. Unfortunately, intelligent people cannot actually ham it up for the camera very well because we know that what we're telling you is a bunch of horse hockey and malarkey, and they trust me, and people know it too. They can tell on you are trying to ham it up for the camera because it's so obvious it's contrived and fake. It's true. You know, you can't deny that. It's just the truth. The next thing, too, about intelligent people is, why don't people like us very much? Well, the people don't usually like us very much because they think we're a bunch of smart asses. And the sad truth is we don't try to be smart ass at all. We try to be very honest with each other and ourselves. But because we study knowledge and we have wisdom. Remember, I gotta explain the difference between knowledge and wisdom because there's a difference. Knowledge is like what you study in school, like say in U.S. history class. Okay, you learn about the American Revolution, the American Civil War, John F. Kennedy's assassination, World War I, World War II, the different presidents, the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and so on and so forth. Well, that's great. That's knowledge. Okay. It's like knowing all the people that have been in Survivor on CBS, and knowing the episode names, the titles. Same thing for Star Trek and Star Wars fans. I know you guys know your stuff because you guys study it to the point where you swear to God that Star Trek and Star Wars fans know every episode, every character, every story, every thing about the characters, and it's absolutely true. But that's knowledge. Knowledge won't help you out of a paper. Won't even help you out of a paper bag. Now comes wisdom. Now, wisdom is something that is usually built upon over many years' time. When you start with wisdom, you may have knowledge of what is supposed to be, but you have to also decide if you want to do a certain thing a certain way based on the possible results, based on what you've studied and learned. So wisdom is taking the knowledge you've used and have applied it to a situation. Usually the older people, we always look up to them as the wise ones. It's true that a lot of them do get senile dementia and Alzheimer's after a while, and there's a couple reasons why that is, besides the fact that it's predisposed in their families. I know my family Alzheimer's does run around a little bit. But we also know that through modern medical resources that Alzheimer's can be minimized through modern medicine and modern memory training techniques. And I should explain that in another video because that's a great topic. But in this case, we're talking about, let's say you don't have Alzheimer's and senile dementia, and you happen to be an older person, say. Now remember, we're talking about older people. Well, let's go back to look at the history, what older meant. Majority of the people but in the Victorian area were probably dead by 70. Okay? in the Middle Ages, it was even shorter life, a lot shorter. Average person was dead by 40 or 50 years old. If you lived to be that age, geez, you're considered a geezer. But of course today we got centenarians running around that are 100 plus years old, and a lot of them are doing very well. Not all of them, unfortunately, but a lot of them are doing very well. So we should look up to those people who have been around us before us, who've been through life's many twists and turns, because they have the knowledge, but they also have the wisdom to decide when a certain action should be done based on their experiences. Wisdom is built upon experience. It's not just, just having the smarts. It's taking the smarts and using them when you need to. It's kind of like the sound from the gambler. You need to know when to hold them. You need to know when to fold them. You need to know when to walk away, and you need to know when to run. Okay, it's the same thing when you grow up with wisdom. You got experiences behind you, so you can tell you when it's time to hold them, fold them, walk away, or run. It's just the way it is. It's hard to believe that here is a 49-year-old person with 32 prior lives under her belt, telling you the facts, especially for the younger millennials. This applies to you. You will grow and learn wisdom, okay? And you will learn new things. And when you start hearing that expression, I remember when, as much as I do, then you know you've reached that age of maturity. Because I hate that expression. I remember when blank was blank. I remember when the Commodore 64 was the top selling computer in the world. I remember when the 1541 disk drive sounded like a jackhammer when it was trying to seek to track 0. I remember all the times that disk drives would have to be realigned. I remember when, all this stuff. It's a lot to remember, but it was true. We did do that. We did remember those times. But I also am part of a new age too. And this is something I want to tell to our seniors out there as well. Never stop learning. Never stop taking your knowledge and applying it to the real world around you. If you want to keep your mind sharp, you got to keep studying. Keep learning. Stick your nose in the grindstone. Please wear your safety glasses when you do that, but okay. Although I don't know how you get your nose in the grindstone with your safety glasses on, but the point here is make sure to keep your mind open to new things and new skills. Don't be afraid if it's because you make mistakes in life that you're going to never be good at something. There's a lot of people who have a lot of skills, and sometimes they're skills that they're latent skills. And they're not skills that they actually know they have. And then they do something unique, and all of a sudden they find out they're extremely good at it. I can come up with a couple of examples. For example, Dory's doing the beads, or jewelry beads, and she's doing very good with the beads. For me, it's a very finicky process. I wouldn't have the patience to do the beads, but then I work with electronics, and I solder tiny PC boards and things like that, which most people would say is, for a legally blind person, that is unbelievably unusual to see that someone like me could get down there. Unfortunately, burn my hair off in the process with the soldering iron. That's one of the costs. But still, you learn new things, and that's the whole point. Maybe you might find out, for example, that you have a talent, as I said, that you didn't even know. Let's say, for example, buy a violin, and the next thing you know it, within the third week, you're playing very good songs. I mean, well beyond what you would expect for a third week practicer, a home student playing the violin. The next thing you know, you start, right within the first year, you start playing some music by Vivaldi and Puccini and all the other guys. I mean, Simple Pieces of Verdi. Oh, holy cow. I mean, that could happen. You never know. And just doing that shit, that's the way skills are. You may find out that you're fantastic playing the drums, or you might be great handling stressful environments, like multitasking between telephone, the keyboard, and the computer, and you know, receiving guests. Say, for example, as an office receptionist, you could be fantastic at that, and you may never have any experience doing it. And this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. These are the kind of amazing things that people do every day. And some people do them and don't even really think they're a big deal. Maybe, for example, because you have a strong constitution, you might be great as a trash remover or a septic tank pumper, because maybe the smell of waste doesn't really make you sick too much. Or maybe you're highly skilled at washing laundry by hand. These are talents, and people do have talents. Even the most dim-witted people have talents. It's just a matter of sometimes is that they need to be willing to explore those talents. And I try to help people to learn new things. Quick story, tried to learn to cook with wood, and she was a fiasco. But I think that maybe if she practices some more, maybe she could finally master it. It's a skill. It is a skill. It's not... I just got done cleaning the colossal mess. She had way too much vegetable oil in the grill. It looked like the Exxon Valdez in there. Like, wow. I mean, the thing was overflowing oil onto everything. If I'm lucky, I thank my lucky stars that I squelched that fire before she even tried to restart it. Because if that thing actually had caught that grill, we would have had a major conflagration. A good old conflagration, which nobody would have liked. So, but again, that's why I was serious, because I kind of knew that, and she gets a little bit upset about it because she feels like she feels really bad. But that's okay. You learn. It's a skill. Practice, 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 and you will master it. It just takes time. But then I gotta have problems too. Let's talk about some of mine. Okay, why don't we talk about yours? My hearing sucks. No shit. Michelle's hearing may suck, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't like doing things with her other senses, mostly her eyes and her fingers. With the cataract in her right eye, she uses her left fingers, her fingers in her left eye to do almost everything. I touch. She's very touchy-feely, because that's how she sees. That's how I see. Because I have hearing loss, and because of that reason, I don't do well with loud, noisy environments. I tend to do better when I'm in an environment when I'm quiet, relaxed, and CCC, calm, cool, collected. And when I'm calm, cool, collected, then I can focus on the job at hand and do a good job. But if I try to rush into something like bowl in a china shop, the only thing that happens is a lot of broken plates. That's no lie. That's just a fact. So let me share this video out to some of the people on my channel list. That's one, yeah. I'm going to share out this video because I forgot to start sharing it. And, yes, we are taking some questions today. So, if you do want to, join us, for the short chat, okay, on post day, and I see, another share. Let me share this in Twitter, and is that tweet? No, that's, oh, that's not right. I did that wrong. Oops. Okay, so let me go to Twitter. No, I don't want a direct message. Oh my God, you're terrible. See, I'm not perfect. No, she's not. Okay, so I want to tweet that. Okay, so I want to hit tweet and share it one more place. Let's share it with Google Plus and get this out the door and post that there. So now we're back there. So yes, we are going to take some questions today, because why the hell not? I'm sure you guys have got a lot to say. I know that a lot of the people that were watching my videos last night were like, wow, hey, you do a good job at what you do. And yes, I do. I want to show you some of the comments I got. I'm going to go back to that screen. So, let's see here. Here we go. I'm going to show you a couple of comments that I got. And let's see. This is a little different than my iOS version. So, here we go. The latest one says, this is from Late Night with Michele. Let's try again, shall we? He says, Kiwi Brian says, I just wanted to say, Michele, I've been following your channel for about a year or so, and I have to admit, human beings like you fascinate me, also humbles me. Keep doing MicheleMarieDalene. Well, and I said, I am just being myself, which is true. He also said, Michele, aren't you clever? With all your expert knowledge about barbecuing food or cooking with fire, why didn't you cook dinner? It would have taken a lot of pressure off of Dory. By the way, you have nothing to apologize for. I says, I am next time. Okay? And Eric Green said, I'm just going to read some of these comments. Tip, you got to start up with a small tinder first, then get the fire going, and then keep it steadily, gradually increasing the amount of burning material by adding a bit at a time. Wood, coal, etc. While cooking, it takes a bit of, and yes, it does, practice, okay? And I said, that's right, and since it is a cook fire, you want to keep it small so things don't get burnt to a crisp. So yes, I am really honestly excited to know that people did like the live stream, and now, so let's go back to the questions. Turn this thing back on here so I can hear it. Yeah. So we're no live chat, but that's okay. You guys are always on my mind. And so I always wondered how when you do fast forward to this. By the way, sorry about the background noise. Someone's doing something in the backyard, so you can still hear me at this point. So like I said, one thing with skills is you need to learn them, but you got to keep your mind open and not be afraid to try new things, because that's how you sharpen your mind. Please understand that when you get older, you only have so many brain cells in your body, and after a period of time, some of them will die off because of age. But to help keep things good and sharp, you do want to be easy on medications in both prescription and over-the-counter and illicit drugs as well. So don't go too crazy with alcohol, tobacco. And we can talk about that. So a whole nother area is the legalization of marijuana. I am for the legalization of marijuana because we already demonstrated that marijuana has medicinal value, and it's good. It's good for pain relief. I know that from personal experience, from being in a room full of marijuana smoke with my foot, it hurt less, and it helps my eyes. But I can't afford to buy this stuff, but that's okay. When someone else is smoking a joint, I get the secondhand benefits of it. So, after all, recycle or reuse, right? So why not take advantage of the secondhand smoke, get the THC into your lungs, and then have it go through and ease your eye pain or your leg pain or your emotional pain or whatever. So Donald Trump, I don't think is too happy deep down with Jeff Sessions and his holy war on marijuana. He does like Jeff Sessions for most everything, but the marijuana thing he much rather leave it to the states to decide what to do with marijuana. And I agree with him. It definitely should be a state issue, not federal government should just not get involved in everybody's personal issues or what they choose to use. But you know, wisdom kicks in again, because wisdom says somebody's going to say the opposite and says that, well, the state should have to give up the rights to legalize marijuana for medicinal or recreational use. Because I know that from personal experience, and that's what happens, and it's sad. However, researchers who are getting independent funding have been testing out the potential uses for marijuana and have found that indeed it does help for people with pain. Instead of using opiates, such as Vicodin and other opiates, prescription ones or non-prescription, to deal with pain management, which is a great thing. It keeps the human body, it's easier in the flesh, there's less withdrawal symptoms, and that's a great thing. So, but anyway, that's one thing Donald Trump also does have going for him. He does have wisdom. He's because he's 70 plus years old, 71 years old. He knows enough of what's going on in the world. He's been in the world a long time. He's seen enough of the world, the good, the bad, the ugly, to know what is and is not to be. And so, because he's an older man and he has been in the real world and he's seen the real world, unlike some career politicians that have no real world understanding at all of what's going on. But that's a whole nother video. So anyway, all the knowledge you get, what can you do with it? You build on it. But you also learn to when to apply it. It's just like the song from The Gambler. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. Okay? It's what the chorus of the song says. Now, the second part, the last part of the chorus really doesn't fit this example, but if you want to throw it in, I will. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Okay, so I will leave that part of this chorus up for you to figure out how it ties in with this video. Okay? And here it is. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There will be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Now, if you can come up with how that ties in with this video, leave it in the comments section below, and I would love to read your response to that question. And I do thank Kenny Rogers for making The Gambler the movie, and of course the song, and it's a really fantastic piece of music. He has a lot of good music too under his belt. People ask me some people wonder who are my favorite singers. I like Freddie Fender. People didn't know that, but I do like Freddie Fender, especially his song Wasted Days, Wasted Nights. It's like me. Wasted Days and Wasted Nights. Go MP3 it. Or if you got the original 8-track, go get the 8-track or cassette out and listen to it. I think you'll enjoy it. And of course, I love his songs when he does the English-Spanish crossovers. They're fun too. Especially in just go ahead and look at some of his music. The Green Green Grass at Home. I really don't remember that song too well, but that's a good song. I do know. Alright. So I hope that you enjoyed this chat. I hope you enjoyed this chance to finally look at what I got to say when I'm in a halfway decent mood. Obviously, I changed my top because the other top was so full of cleaning the grill. It was a real mess. Oh, that's my brown with wood. Yeah, it gets messy. So we cleaned the grill, and I got that ready for next time. But for now, I want to thank you for watching this, and I hope you have a nice day. Stay out of trouble. And you know what? Like I said, don't forget one thing when you get a lot of this wisdom. It's a real shame when someone says to you and admonishes you, said, you should know better, And you can't say, no, I didn't. Because you do. And you know you do. And then you feel like you're first with egg on your face. And you go, oh, why did I do that? And I know I was stupid. That's the problem with wisdom. Just like I said, you can't ham it up on the camera. You can't. How can you ham it up on the camera? You can't. It's very hard to do. But, alright guys. That's it for now. See you soon. Bye-bye.